Hello, I'm Dr. Sonal Mehra. I'm a consultant rheumatologist at JP Hospital, Noida. Today, I'll be discussing on antibiotics-induced acidity for our patients. Drug or pill-induced acidity refers to the direct toxic effect of the drug on the esophageal epithelium. Patients complain of symptoms of retrosternal chest pain, odynophagia or dysphagia. It was first described in 1970 by Pemberton when patients took KCl, that is potassium chloride tablets. Drugs can produce a caustic effect by either creating an acidic or an alkaline environment. Drug-induced acidity could either be something very self-limiting or transient, or it could be a persistent symptom. Some of these patients would develop gastric ulcers, esophageal strictures, or even gastrointestinal perforation. These symptoms are worsened in patients who also have a history of gastroesophageal reflux disease. The pathogenesis of medication-induced esophagitis includes a direct cytotoxic effect, and the second one is disruption of the cytoprotective barriers. Researchers hypothesized that the prolonged contact of the irritants with the esophageal mucosa could lead to mucosal damage. Antibiotics are one of the common causes of drug-induced esophagitis. Some of them include antibiotics like tetracycline, including doxycycline, and others like amoxicillin, clindamycin, ciprofloxacin, metronidazole, and rifaximin. Local acid burn and hyperosmolar properties of the drug could lead to esophageal mucosal injury. A clinical and experimental study of 40 patients who were taking tetracycline developed an esophageal ulcer that showed a similar appearance on endoscopy. Sustained release drugs have a higher chances of drug-induced esophagitis in contrast to other patients. Likewise, gelatin capsules also have a higher chances because of their hygroscopic nature. They become sticky and adhere to the wall of the esophageal mucosa, probably because of the mechanical pressure and also because of the chemical released on the esophageal mucosa once the drug is released from the capsule. The following anti-ulcer drugs are used in the treatment of antibiotic-induced peptic ulcers, gastroesophageal reflux disease, and various forms of gastritis. These include H2 blockers, proton pump inhibitors, and antacids. So first we'll be talking about antacids. Antacids reduce the gastric acidity by reducing the gastric acid content and reducing the pepsin activity. However, by reducing the activity, they also interfere with the absorption of certain drugs like digoxin and iron. Also, antacids need to be taken 5 to 7 times a day. Therefore, antacids have been superseded by antigastric suppressive therapy for the treatment of peptic ulcer disease and are being used only for short-term symptom relief. H2 blockers include ranitidine, famotidine, and cimetidine. These are competitive inhibitors of histamine at the level of the H2 receptors, and therefore they reduce the gastrin-induced gastric acid volume and reduce the gastric acid secretion. They also reduce the histamine-induced pepsin secretion. They are quick onset of action within 30 to 60 minutes and have their peak effect at 1 to 2 hours. Ranitidine, oral, IV, and other formulation has been banned from the US market and various other countries because of its unacceptable concentrations of NDMA, that is the N-nitrosodimethylamine, which is a human carcinogen. Cimetidine and famotidine do not contain the NDMA, and also the PPIs do not contain this. Therefore, they are used as other alternatives. For gastroesophageal reflux disease, H2 blockers are basically mainly used for pain management, as these blockers have also been superseded by the proton pump inhibitors in the treatment of peptic ulcer disease. The third drug that we'll be discussing will be on proton pump inhibitors. Now, since 1989, once the omeprazole was released, PPIs became the mainstream of treatment of acid disorder. When compared with earlier agents like histamine receptor antagonists, anticholinergics, and prostaglandins, PPI inhibitors have excellent patient tolerance, better safety, and a super acid suppressing capability. Omeprazole has the highest time to peak plasma level, that is 0.5 hours, in contrast to esomeprazole, that is 1.5 hours, and pantoprazole, that is 2 hours. According to the WHO Center for Drug Statistics methodology, 20 mg of omeprazole is equal to 30 mg of esomeprazole, 30 mg of lansoprazole and 40 mg of pantoprazole in the treatment of gastroesophageal reflux disease. The Canadian Association of Gastroenterology recommends 20 mg of omeprazole is equivalent to 40 mg of esomeprazole, 30 mg of lansoprazole and 40 mg of pantoprazole in the treatment of acute gastroesophageal reflux disease. A small dose of 37.7 mg per day of omeprazole is equal to achieve a target of pH of 4 in contrast to a large dose of 166 mg of pantoprazole per day. Based on the 24-hour mean gastric pH, omeprazole, which has a relative potency of 1, is 4.34 times more potent than pantoprazole, which has a relative potency of 0.23. Studies have shown that long-term therapy of omeprazole up to 11 years is a highly effective and safe therapy for patients with acute reflux esophagitis. Klinkenberg-Knoll et al. Provide further information on the efficacy and safety of omeprazole on the long-term maintenance therapy in patients with gastroesophageal reflux disease. This study showed that omeprazole patients had the high efficacy of this drug for healing of ulcers, lower number of relapses, and reduced serious adverse events, make it the first choice for the maintenance of chronic therapy of gastroesophageal reflux disease. Omeprazole also finds a place in the WHO list of essential antacids and various other anti-ulcer treatment medications. On comparative analysis, PPIs remain the most potent inhibitors of gastric acid secretion as they directly block the gastric acid secretion itself. PPIs have a superior biochemical effect in contrast to the H2 receptor antagonist because they maintain the gastric pH of more than 4 for more than 15 to 24 hours in contrast to 8 hours for the H2 receptor antagonist. In addition to the long-lasting effectiveness of PPI, it has superior efficacy with respect to the postprandial and the nocturnal gastric pH control, which is of clinical importance. Tachyphylaxis may occur with H2 receptor antagonist, which may occur within 3 to 5 days of their regular use. Moreover, consistent effect of the use of H2 receptor antagonist for weeks to months could reduce their acid suppressing capacity to nearly half. To conclude, omeprazole has consistent patient tolerance, excellent safety, and superior acid suppressing capability in contrast to the other anti-gastric ulcer treatment. Omeprazole also finds a place in the WHO Essential Medical List, therefore making it the first drug of choice in the treatment of antibiotic-induced acidity. In the treatment of gastroesophageal reflux disease and peptic ulcer, I also prefer using proton pump inhibitors like omeprazole for my patients. Thank you.